Craigs, maybe not as flattering as last week's result, but 3 points at the end of the day. You chuffed with that?
I am. There's different ways of winning games. I felt last week, it was probably our forward players that won us the game with the way they, created things in the final third and the final ball was better. I just feel tonight at times we had to defend. Probably in the first half we maybe had 10, well, it felt like 10, 12 corners to go and defend, and I think manfully, they done it. I thought David Ferguson was terrific. Barry Maguire had a tough game, 2 or 3 weeks ago against Hibs. He came in last week at left back and was quite solid, and I think today he grew as the game went on. So I think our defenders take great plaudits tonight for their performance, and we're disappointed we conceded a goal because we always feel as if we've done enough to earn a clean sheet. But overall, delighted. That's coming to Hamilton's tough. They're everything about this club. The way they go about their business, the energy they have for the game, the appetite. People talk about budgets whenever have you in football, but this club sets a marker for me of how you approach games and play. So when you come here, you're in for a real challenge. You have to go and compete. It probably took us 10-15 minutes to get a hold of the ball, and it was a tough opening spell for us to get through. They were dominant, and you just felt as if a goal was going to come for them. So credit to the players for sticking in, but I think once we got the first goal, probably against the run of play, then we settled a little bit better. Second half with our counter-attack and stuff, we probably could have scored 3 or 4. So overall delighted. I think that takes us top of the league tonight. I'm not too sure there's any other games tonight, so that was a little bit of a motivation for us. And if we win the youth league, or if we're at top of the youth league, I know it doesn't mean we've all made it as football players, but the boys come in every day and work hard. They have to have a target of what they're going for. There has to be an appetite and an aim, I think, in football to keep going. So to be up there at this time of the season is nice. I'm not saying we'll stay there, but certainly it's a nice reward for the players' efforts.
It's also rewarding the boys have followed in the footsteps of the first team and got a win over Hamilton. How is the atmosphere in the changing room there? Are they chuffed with that, especially with that rivalry between the clubs? Yeah,
they are. Particularly the new ones who come in and probably don't know an awful lot about it. And it's not the biggest rivalry in the world. It's not the most important one in some people's eyes, but I always think it's nice. Sometimes you play in games, it just adds a little bit of extra spice to it. The first team were terrific on Saturday. Louis Malt was great, and the way the boys played in the first half was terrific. So the manager said last week to the young players after the game that he saw his first team playing the way we did last week against Dundee United. Well, I think the first half on Saturday is the way I would say our under-20s trying to play, moving the ball and creating chances and being good in the ball. So it's been a good week. I think a lot of people deserve plaudits and credit. It's all down to players. Players work hard, they put efforts in. So 3 points is great. I think well deserved. I think over the piece, apart from the opening 15 minutes, I think we were the better team, and I think we deserved to win the game.
A few first team players involved tonight, but it was Ross McLean at the double. And how far off do you think that these sorts of players are from getting into that first team? It was a great performance from a few of the young boys tonight.
Yeah, Ross's performance against Dundee United last week was probably as good as he's been for us. Since I've been here, 17, 18 months. I think tonight he was close again. I'm a little bit harping on at him because I feel as if his final ball at times lets him down. The final thing he does with the ball, I spoke to you last week and said the final thing you do with the ball is the thing people remember. He takes up great positions, defensively he takes up great positions. He works ever so hard. The distance he covered last week was incredible in GPS. It's high intensity sprints, so he's got all the attributes. Now he's just got to be careful. To take the next step again, you just have to be a bit more careful with the ball. And the first team, you give it away 3 or 4 times needlessly, it can affect the game even more. So just small parts of his game now, but I think Ross has stepped up the last 2 weeks. He was on the bench on Saturday. I'm not too sure how close he was to getting on, but there's an opportunity there. He's seen Chris Cadden probably about this time last year, a year older than him, looking to break into the first team. So Alan Campbell, I've got to give Alan a wee mention because we didn't have a kind of right back tonight. I know Jack played in the left, but Alan got in playing it right back, and he said he didn't like it. He said he didn't get enough of the ball, and I said, well, that suited me, Alan. You were stuck out there, but it just shows the commitment the kids have. We put them out of position at times, and it learns them different aspects to the game. So to a man, I thought they were excellent.
One of the main themes from these interviews has been about consistency. That's 2 wins on the back. Is it impressing you that they've managed to see that out tonight in that performance?
Yeah, but in a frustrating kind of way, what it does is it makes the Hibs performance even more disappointing for me. And I don't want to harp on it negatives all the time, but it was just so unlike us that day. I don't know what it was, but anyway, that's 7 competitive games we've had this season. I think 6 have been of a good standard, decent to good standard. The one time we slip off, so fine. So if every 7 games we have one bad one, I would take that all day long. But again, that's the key for them stepping up. Consistency, putting in good performances. I said to Ross, for example, I said to Big Dylan last week. Big Dylan covered terrific distance on the GPS, but I think it's highest ever. So I said you can do it. I said to a lot of them, you can do it. You've shown you can do it. And if it doesn't happen tonight for you, then make sure it's not through lack of effort. Lack of effort is, you can't really accept that. But overall, consistency is crucial for us. Young players are consistent. I think from about Christmas onwards last year we were really consistent. So we've started the season in the same vein of form, but we don't rest and think, well, that's us, we've achieved it. There's always a drive and an inner drive from us all to push on and be better. you know, they all want to be professional football players, so they've got to keep going and going. So yes, we'll enjoy tonight, but we're back in tomorrow for recovery and now focusing on next Tuesday.
Well, another great win, Craigan. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.